Hey, JC here at JC's Comics and More, your pop culture superstore, 6725 West Central Avenue, that's Toledo, Ohio, 43617-419-531-6097. Instagram, JC's Comics and More, www.jcscomicsmore.com, and email is jcscomicsmore@hotmail.com. Getting a few things finished up here before I leave for the night. Had some Marvel horror videos, a video we did earlier, posted a bunch of pictures on the shop's Facebook page. There's going to be a link down in the description, so certainly go on there and you can see pictures of these comics a little bit more. But I pulled these little these things out here, spoofs. These things are too damn funny that Marvel came up with. They're part of a collection, and I'm going to keep these for myself. These things are just too funny. I'm sorry. If I get another batch in, they'll be for sale. But here we have Dead of Night #1. It's got a John Romita cover on it. God, it's a great cover. You know, he drew just more than just Spider-Man. Here we have a bunch of, again, old reprints from Marvel was Atlas Comics. There's a Joe Sinnott. This is Joe Sinnott's story. You know, very rare Joe Sinnott artwork. You're used to him inking John Buscema or John Byrne or, of course, Jack Kirby for so long on Fantastic Four, but he actually a good penciler in his own right. Again, these things always have just these you know, these twisted endings. You have become a deadly horror from the other side of the grave because you laughed at a dead man's curse. That'll teach you. Again, these ads, too skinny, rare old U.S. airmails, rare stamp for free, spy radio, factory closeout electric guitar at amp, $15.95, karate, hypnotized with any TV set, first evening, X-ray specs for sale, comic books. And there's that Grit Boy again. Here we've got the House of Fear. Does not give any sort of credits for this. My Brother the Ghoul. Again, everybody's a skeleton at the end. You got a Marvel Handbook. God. These ads are, again, just too much. Have your poem set to music. I got fried electric chair, so you can go to conservation, get yourself a werewolf Halloween mask. He dwells in a dungeon. My brother Henry. Spider Medallion coin. I talked about this in the previous video about Sid Shores. They had the Bill Everett memorials in the comics, and here we had the memorial for Sid Shores that he died. A couple of months, like 2 months earlier, Bill Everett died. And just talks about that. He was a real talent and he'll be missed. As they all are. You know, from Sid to Stan to Steve Ditko. And more. Killed the wrong man, gained weight. We have issue 3 of Dead of Night. This I almost want to say is almost I think a John Severin cover. Almost looks very much like a John Severin in the face. You can almost say the creatures themselves might be maybe a little Herb Trampish. But this comic came out in April of '74. You got the Hidden Graveyard, art by Bob Forgoin. Seems to be a King Kong type creature. Sometimes you see a lot of that stuff too. You see like Creature of the Black Lagoon creature. You've got this King Kong creature. Of course, you got lots of werewolves. He slaps them and he eats them. Look at that. That's horror, man. That dude's getting chowed on like War of the Gargantuas. And he 15 records. These look like 8 tracks for $1.97. Waiting for Satan. This is a George Tuska. Again, George Tuska, you know, his Iron Man stuff was great, but you know, the stuff that he did before that, there's that Grit Boy again. He was just quite a talent. You know, I didn't appreciate Tuska as much when I was a kid. Waiting for Satan. While the City Slumbers. Paul Reinman. Here we have Iron Fist. He's kind of miscolored a little bit. Jazzy John. Again, free $1 million in cash. Only a Rose. John Forte. Here again, this here is a precursor to the Comics Buyer's Guide. It's called the Comic Collector. Let's move to the giant king-size Tower of Shadows. This has a Ramita cover in it. This beatnik got his foot caught in the busted boards, and that hungry one. I think that's Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. That's when Sigmund went into puberty. Witch Hunt, Roy Thomas, Don Heck, Dan Atkins. It's 25 cents. Came out in December 1971. Again, Don Heck stuff. His non-superhero stuff, or superhero stuff was good. His non-superhero stuff, he could do it as well as anyone else. Men Are Warlocks. One Hungers. We got Neil Adams did the artwork on this one here. Writer and artist Neil Adams. A rare early writer and artist for Neil Adams. So if you're a Neil Adams fan, you think you have it all, you might not have this. And that ties in with the story on the front. Don't have to make sure I give this thing a good read through before I sell it. Another new story. Gary Fredman, John Buscema, Big John Verporten inker. And again, John just excelled at non-superhero stuff too. Just normal guys, normal people, just working and just whether it be construction workers or guys down drilling under in the subways or in the bars. Look at, you can just tell he's a foreman. There's a robot. Kind of looks a little bit like Ultron. Time to Die. Another John Buscema. Again, John did more than just the superhero stuff. Probably some of his finer work here. Got this one here. It says Stanley editor Johnny Craig, writer and artist. But you look at the woman, that's clearly Ramita, or at least Ramita inked. But you look some more of this, clearly Ramita. That face right there is clearly Ramita. That's Ramita. That John must have really touched this up, because you look at it and it's clearly John Romita. We got a house ad for Marvel Feature 1 with the Defenders and King Size Special with Thor. Spidey 101 with 6 arms and fighting Morbius. That was Morbius' first appearance. What a great comic that was. Again, Romita all the way. Maybe Johnny Craig did the layouts. You got Ditko. Of course, you're always going to have have Ditko. Ditko stuff is... I could read his comics all day long. Here's another ad for the Comic Collector. That might be the first ad. Yeah, that's from 1971, where the other ones were from 73. So this right here is actually probably the first ad for the Comic Collector that became the Comics Buyer's Guide. This is a little bit of history right here, peoples. There you got the history of comics by Jim Starlin. Or not Starlin, Jim Steranko. Then we move to Uncanny Tales 1. This the Gil Kane cover. Looks like Tom Palmer inks. This is probably 72. December 73. Like a chicken without a head. Does not tell you who the artist is. But look at him. Man. What a freak show that is. He's angry they didn't use his method. He's got his little knife out. Look at him. He chops off the head of that chicken. Runs around without a head. Happy. A healthy, happy, headless chicken. Thanks to my new Wonder Serum. A happy chicken. He's headless. Look. There's that grit boy again. He used it on himself. Chopped his own head off. Rudolph's Racket. The artwork was pretty damn good on these old comics too. It certainly fit the mood. Propaganda. It's too bad there's no artist accompanying with these. Time marches on. Look at that there. Look how crazy that looks. From the world's weirdest collection of uncanny tales. And there's that Sid Shores memorial once again. We move to Uncanny Tales number 2. That's February 72. And look at this cover here. Looks like it might be John Romita did this cover as well. Just the way it looks. Kind of looks Romita. Graves That Moved. The Swamps, Dick Ayers. There's some Dick Ayers artwork. He was primarily known as an inker. Dead End, Tom Gill. Again, look at those bloodshot eyes. The dude's crazy, man. Looks like he's got a time machine. Last seen climbing a ladder. The ladder to nowhere. You look at this here, how these planets are drawn. Who knows? This Jim Starlin might have. Here's his name. He might have been a good fan of Vic Caraballo. So it might have been an influence for Jim Starlin. Never know where we get our influences from. Superstition appears to be nothing on that. This has a very EC look to it. Of course, bad stuff always happens. Flat Earthers will like that issue. Then you got the Evil Knievel ad for the toys. You get your own Evil Knievel toys. Vaulted Evil number 1. Gil Kane cover. Again, werewolves. Lots of werewolves. Seems to be a blob type creature. The Thing That Grew. I wonder if this story originally came out before the blob came out. It certainly seems to be very much a blob. And there it ate him. Withered Hand. Cool thing about this issue here, this number 1 of Vault of Evil, has a house ad for Adventures in Fear 12 with Man Thing. It's unpublished Mike Plug artwork right there. That's worth buying this issue probably just by itself. Man in the Box. And of course we see the little previews at the bottom, the little teasers. Here's the teasers for this book right here. Follow us into the Vault of Evil, but don't forget to bring your own shovel. The World's Heaviest Guy. Poor Mr. Watkins. This dude's hitting on this hot blonde here. She disgusts him. She quits, and there's another guy there, and he picks on this poor guy. He gets triggered pretty easily, but we come to find out at the end, was he really being triggered, or was he laying the trap? Untitled Evil number 3. I think this is a Frank Bruner. Yeah, Frank Bruner cover right there. The Woman Who Wasn't. Got a Medusa story. Move on to the next one, Jaws of Death. Gators get him. The Tarantula. Kingpin's moved to a new town, trying to take it over, and he's got bug trouble. So he's got bug trouble wherever he goes. See, it's another giant spider, tarantula. Got the lion's mouth. And of course, wonder what happened there. I got to read that thing later. Here's a house ad for Dracula Lives. Again, this is original artwork that's never been probably reprinted elsewhere. Vault of Horror number 5. Vault of Evil number 5, excuse me. Another John Romita cover. Again, it's nice seeing John do some of these covers that are very different, or at least Romita inks. You can certainly tell in the face right here that's very Romita. My Friend the Ghost. A little bit longer story. On the Spot. More Paul Reinman. The Diet of Donald Moore. Whatever happened to Mr. Snively? Stan Lee and Russ Heath. Russ Heath did the art on this? Damn. Again, there's the memorial for Sid Shores in this issue of Vault of Evil. We've got number 6 Vault of Evil right here. Seems to be a Romita cover, maybe Romita and Gil Kane. The creature almost looks like Gil Kane, so I say it's Gil Kane with Romita inks. This giant bug creature. Help Wanted. Ghost Rider held fast in the clutches of Satan himself. Bug creature gets the guy and kills him. Don't shrink Sam's head. For God's sakes, yes, don't shrink Sam's head. I think we can all agree on that. That's a bad idea. Why do you want to shrink your head, Sam? There's Otherface. Says George Tuska GT. I think sometimes these guys weren't allowed to credit their own books. Of course, you don't know who the writer is. There's an ad for Crazy. So there's a really special story in one of these coming up. They Dive by Night. Talks about Bruner, talks about Gil Kane. Got issue number 8 of Vault of Horror. This is a Buckler cover. He should kill him, plunge the wood stake in his heart, but he can't. The vampire is my brother. Brother vampire. Hot redhead. There's that boy again. Here we go. Here's a great story here. Collins is in his coffin. This shows you shouldn't make a Collins mad at you. You're hanging an innocent man. I never murdered old man Salas. You're doing this because you all hate me. You want to take my land, divide it up among yourselves. If I die, you'll pay for it. All of you. You'll never be able to steal my land. Told you, fools. I was innocent. They hang him. They kill Collins. Well, he's gone now. That's the last of Collins. Yeah, I wonder. Now, you wait a minute, Mr. Legg. You mean to say that you believe all the things in this town was caused by the lynching of Josh Collins? Well, I didn't at first, but there's things that are hard to explain the other way. You see, after they hung him, they cut him down and... Here it goes. Here lies Collins, hex murderer. 1880, 1927. Houses burned down. Crops. Got to get the rain soon or we'll all be finished. If we don't get water, the crops will die. The land is burning up. I wonder if that's what Collins meant. I'll have to kill him. That's the only food we have left to eat. I'm afraid, Bob. It's Collins. He's doing this all in revenge. You won't drive me out, Collins. You're dead. In your coffin. You'll stay there until you're rotted away into nothing. And you have stayed, Mr. Lane. That's why we've come here. You're the only one who stayed. Why aren't you afraid? Because I'll tell you this, we reached rock bottom. I don't understand what you mean. Don't understand. Things just got better. Look what's happening. That's because they can't get any worse. I can't think of anything more that Collins can do. Yeah, that Collins, he'll get you. There's Jessica. Got some great artwork there. We've got some Basil Worthington coming up in one of these comics here real soon. The Terrible Trunk. Again, Sid Shore's memorial. Got Vault of Evil number 10. It's got a rare Bill Everett story. Death of a Puppet. See if there's any good house ads left in these things. Let's Face It. Really, of course, Twisted, as always, ending. There's that Grit kid again. It's a Pitchman. They Wait in the Caves. I'm not sure who did the art on this. I really enjoyed the art on that. There's that Iron Fist again. I think this might have been John Severin. Or maybe Marie. Almost kind of looks like either of the two. Bertha Gets Buried. Sam Weskin. Really dug this artwork a lot. I thought this certainly, as always, just fit the mood of the story. Got the Marvel value stamps. Move to Weird Wonder Tales number 1. The Thing That Devoured an Earth, the Planet. Fright-filled first issue. It's a Gil Kane cover. Not sure who inked it. I think maybe Frank Giacola inked this. And Al Hartley did this. I really, really enjoyed the story. It's a really cool story how it's significant that we are and that there's creatures out there that eat galaxies. Let's get ready to eat the planet. But, of course, if there's creatures that eat galaxies, there's probably creatures that eat galaxies. Enter the Machine Age. It's a Tale of Caution. This here, it came from beneath the earth. You got this demon that comes up there, and nobody's afraid of it. The cop asks him, he's got a license for parading around that outfit. I am Ingor. You're drunk, and here's a ticket. Now get off the street before I run you in. Run me in. Must be a torture I know nothing about. Here's a female of the species. It will be a pleasure to terrify her. Holy smoke. Stop. Listen, bub. I don't know what you're advertising, but get out of my way. I'm late for work. But I have come from the depths of the earth. I'm from Hoboken myself now. Ask Graham. You mean I didn't scare you? I don't terrify you? Not half as much as my boss when I come in late. Boss, the boss must be creatures who conquered the surface before us, and they must be much more dangerous than we are. And he goes back and they hide. But here's that Basil Werben in the story. Look, the Eye of Doom. Look at this. Oh, this thing's so cool. Ah, God. Somebody needs to put out a whole book of Marvel's Basil Werben's work. Look at those eyeballs coming after him. And again, there's the memorial for Sid Shores. These eyeballs are sucking everybody up and killing everybody, and it was great fun for all. Here we got Weird Wonder Tales #2. The O'Kane cover. Crack up. See what else is in this issue here. I was kidnapped by a flying saucer. This is what the cover story was based upon. Murdoch's Brain. Here we've got issue #3, The Thing in the Bog. Not sure who did the art on that. The Thing in the Mud. That's a very Creature of the Black Lagoon looking story. The woman ends up falling in love with the creature. Look, she's kissing him there. Fish lips. The Monster Men. The Man from Outer Space. Bob Powell did the artwork on this. There's that Iron Fist again. When You Believe. Bill Everett did the art on this. I read this. This is a really cool story. I'm not going to show you what happens at the end, but it's so cool. Here we've got a couple of Where Creatures Roam, issue 6 and issue 7 that has the glob. And brought Zog back to life. Again, reprints old monster stories. I think this is maybe Don Heck on this. Here we got the painting by Steve Ditko. Again, Ditko stuff is just classic. Always just has, this ending that shows you shouldn't have done that. Planted the Seeds of Doom, Jack Kirby. Look, he's got some futuristic dinosaurs. With some cool dinosaurs. They bring these seeds back, which turn into these giant dinosaurs. And I won't show you what happens as far as how they are beaten. Actually, I got pictures on the shop's Facebook page. I Shrank Away to Nothing. Another Steve Ditko story. So you got 2 Ditko stories in this issue. And here we have issue #7 with the glob. I believe that's Jack Kirby. Great Kirby stuff. Marvel Stationery. Fighting the Blob. If you do like these videos, as always, hit the bell, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification, and certainly try to share these things on whatever Facebook comic group pages you're in. Other than that, I hope you certainly did enjoy that. But thanks again. Have a great evening.